Hello, hello. Welcome back to Life After Plus One. I'm Leanne, your podcast host and your single parent mentor and coach. And today I want to talk about a topic that a lot of people don't like to talk about, and that's asking for help. People don't like asking for help. So today I'm going to unpack it all for you and talk about why some people are so scared of asking for help and why it's such a daunting experience, why it feels bad when you're doing the job of two people and you're doing it all on your own, but yet people are still so scared to ask for help. So I'm going to talk about that today and how to do it and who are some people you can actually rely on when you need that help. Now, before I do dive into today's episode, I've actually got a program out, which is just a new one that I'm putting out there because a lot of people have questions, and I get it a lot where people just want to ask me their questions. They may not be ready for a full coaching session yet. They're just not sure how to approach it because many people are a bit funny when it comes to these things, when it comes to getting coaching and doing things to help better you and your situation. And it's a big step. It is a big step. So if you're not ready to do that, I do have a little, like a Q&A session, which is available where we can have a chat and you can ask me your questions and I can talk you through it and how to handle it and how to best respond. Because when you're sometimes in those situations, when you are in the middle of a breakup, you're not thinking clear. You're not seeing things from how other people would. You're just thinking in revenge mode. You're thinking in attack mode. You're thinking in the mode of, I hate my ex. I don't care what they say. So sometimes when you get an outsider perspective from an expert and someone that knows how to handle these situations and someone that's actually been there themselves, it works wonders for you. And I've done this a lot of times with people where they've had these questions and they're like, I just don't know what to do. I don't know how to message my ex. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to approach this situation. Then this is for you. Jump on. Let's just have a little chat and let's just answer a few questions of what you're really stuck in at the moment. And let's take these small steps to help get you through that. And on that note, we're going to jump into today's episode and let's talk about asking for help. Welcome to the Life After Plus One podcast, where we turn life's lemons into delightful lemonade. Get ready for inspiring stories, uplifting conversations, and all the tips and tricks to rock your single parent journey with style. I'm your host, Leanne, and it's time to embrace the adventure of Life After Plus One. So let's dive in. Okay, so let's talk about asking for help and why is it so hard? Now, straight off the bat, I'm going to throw it out there about why most people feel it's hard. Well, I know this is a big reason. And there is a stigma that comes with single parenting, that single parents just like to go out and have fun. They like to go out and party and just spend all their money and just do crazy, stupid stuff. Now, that's very rarely the case. And to be honest with you, I know a lot of single parents and I don't know one person that has a lifestyle like that. So it's a really crappy stigma. But because of that, people are scared to actually ask for help because people think, oh, what? You're just using me for babysitting so you can go out and have fun. And that is a perception. And I have actually heard that from people before, that that's what they think of single parents, which is pretty bullshit, really, isn't it? Because you deserve a break. And so what if you are going out and having fun? Or so what if you are going out and going on a date or doing whatever it is that you enjoy doing? You are allowed to do that. And especially for those parents that have 100% care, because there are a lot of people out there that do. Those parents have every right to want to use people around them to watch their kids so they can go out and have fun. They need that. You need to let your hair down. So that shame that's held on single parents because people feel like you just got to use them for babysitting, it's shit. It really is. And it makes it harder to actually ask for help when you're being shamed for doing it. And really, people that think that, that's not a problem with the person asking for help. That's a problem with the person that's thinking that. Because you have every right to want to go out and have fun. You have every right to want to go out and catch up with your mates, or even if it's just some time to yourself. You have every right to do that. So it's pretty crap that there are people out there that shame you for that, not looking at how much you do when you have the kids and how much you don't stop and it's constantly go, 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 go. That part gets very quickly overlooked for that small time frame that you do get to yourself, and it's not really fair. But if you are finding that you are in that situation where people are approaching it that way, where they feel like you're using them for babysitting, then maybe they're not the people that you rely on, because that's a shit go. And if they were true friends, they wouldn't be shaming you and they wouldn't be making you feel like shit for needing help. We should be, praising people that are comfortable to ask for help. We should be embracing it. We should be supporting people. But instead, there's so much shame. It's that constant poor me mentality, isn't it? It's just constant, well, who's helping me? I don't have help. Why should I help them? There is a lot of that in today's society. There's just so much anger when someone feels like someone's doing something better than them, or someone's got something a little bit more. Like you see all these people on social media. I know I've gone on a bit of a tangent, but I'm going to use this as an example. You see people on social media, and like especially the people that are really wealthy or celebrities, or even if it's just reality stars, and they're people that have got a lot more money and had a bit of fame behind them. People are constantly shaming them and hurting them and belittling them and attacking them. And a lot of it comes down to the fact that they've got more. They've got a better lifestyle. And you constantly see people say, oh, well, I hope they're donating it. I hope they're doing this. I hope they're doing that. Who cares what they're doing with it? It's their money. They've worked hard to get to where they are. And like I just said, I know I've gone off on a tangent, but that's just the mentality of today's society when you're feeling pressured to judge. Well, I won't say pressure to judge, but you're feeling like there's so much judgment on you when you're wanting to do something better with your life. Instead of people actually supporting you and, being proud of you for actually wanting to get up and do something, they're more accepting of you if you just want to stay home and binge watch your favorite TV series and eat takeaway food. They don't question that, which is not a healthy behavior if that's what you're doing every single night or every single weekend. But if you actually want to get out of your little bubble and meet new people and have a life, then you feel shamed on that, which is shit, because that's what they should be encouraging. So that's my point. When you're looking for help, approach the right people. Don't approach the people that are going to make you feel shit. And if you do approach them and that's their response, then they're shit friends. I'm sorry. A good friend wouldn't make you feel like crap for needing help. So that goes back to one of the biggest reasons why people don't ask for help, because of that fear of judgment, that fear of, oh, what are they going to think of me? And that's just it. It's not only the fear of them questioning them for what they're doing in their single parent time, but it's also the fear of them thinking that they're not good enough or they can't manage on their own. Oh gosh, look, they need help. They can't do that on their own. And in addition to that, that's that burden that you feel like you're putting onto other people. You feel like you can't ask for help because you're putting extra stress on them. You're making them do more work because you're asking for help. Oh no, they can't do that for me. Oh, I shouldn't expect them to do that for me. I can't expect that. So that's another reason, because I feel like there's that burden that they're putting on other people. Oh, I don't want to worry them. I may as well just do it myself. And again, that goes back to my last point. A good friend would be understanding and would be okay with it. They would see that you're going through a hard time, or see how much work you're doing, or see how much pressure you're under, and will want to help you. So don't feel guilty about doing that, because you'd like to think that when you're asking someone and they legitimately can't do it, they will say no. And that rolls into my next point, which is everyone feels like they have to do it all. It's that attitude of, I'll be right, I'll be fine, I'm okay, I can do it. You're too proud to ask for help. And I remember when I first became a single parent, gosh, nearly 11 years ago now. Time flies, doesn't it? And where here in Australia, you get a concession card when you become a single parent. And I was too proud to use that, because I didn't even have a car. I left with nothing. So I had to get public transport. And with this concession card, you get discounted public transport and you get discounts at a few different places. And I was too proud to even use that, even though I had hardly any money at that moment. And I walked out with nothing from that relationship. I was still too proud to use that concession card to help get me in a better financial position because I wouldn't be spending as much money and I wouldn't use it. And that's the thing. And I feel like, sadly, that's a stigma that gets put on single parents. Oh, look at her. She's a single parent trying to get discounts everywhere. What a bum. And that's a stigma that is out there. And that's why for me, there was that shame there. Now, I'm at a place, if something's available, you take it. You take it. Because the people that are offering the help, they've got the money. These big corporations that are offering assistance to you, don't be too proud to take it because they've got the money. And that's what it's there for. It's there to help you get back on your feet. So don't be too proud to do anything that's going to benefit your situation, or don't be too proud to ask for help. And sadly, another one of the reasons why some people just fall into that trap of constantly doing themselves, because they've come from a relationship where that's what it was. And perhaps there was one partner in the relationship that wasn't as present as the other one. They worked more, or they went out to the gym, they went out and did their activities, and they just weren't involved in the household duties. Now, this could have been a male or a female. I'm not, gender bashing anyone here, because it does happen for both women and men. And maybe there was that one person that wasn't as present, so the other one was home or doing everything around the house. The other one was doing everything with the kids, and they felt like they just had to do it, and there wasn't that help there. So now they're the single parent. That's rolled on through. Okay, well, I've just got to keep doing it all on my own. But this is where we need to break that mentality, because you don't have to do it all on your own. Like, for example, if you were at work and you were struggling with something and you really needed help, I'm pretty sure you would ask for help. Just like with our kids, when we hear that they're struggling at school or something's going on, we will encourage them to speak to their teachers and ask for help. Yet as parents, we're too scared to ask for help. There's that shame there. There's that stigma. There's that proudness. There's that, oh no, I can do it. But yet we encourage our friends to do it. We encourage our kids to do it. We encourage everyone to ask for help. But when it comes to yourself, you don't do it. So you need to break that mentality, because you don't need to prove a point. You don't need to prove to anyone, look, I can do it. I've done it all on my own. You don't need to prove a point to anyone. Your kids see what kind of parent you are, and that's what matters, that you show up for your kids. It doesn't matter if you don't do the dishes 1 or 2 nights in a row. It doesn't matter if you don't make your bed. It doesn't matter if you've got a kitchen table full of washing that still needs to be folded and put away. It doesn't matter. What matters is how you show up for your kids. And if sometimes asking for help is a way for you to show up better for them, then take it up. Take it up. Because constantly going in that mentality of trying to do it all yourself, you are just going to go through a phase of burnout and exhaustion. You'll hit a wall and you will be exhausted mentally and emotionally. And when you're in that space, you have no joy. You have little happiness, because it's like you're just constantly running on empty. What kind of parent are you going to be for your kids when you're in that phase, when you're not happy, when you're not enjoying your time with them, because you're just constantly thinking, well, shit, I've got soccer on Monday, I've got the dentist appointment on Tuesday, I've got this appointment on Wednesday, I've got to be here on Thursday. And you're just constantly in go, go, go mode of all these things you've got to do. But when do you stop? You don't have to keep going. You cannot run yourself on empty. You need to take a break. And if that break means just asking someone for help, then take advantage of that. Because what we all need to remember is that asking for help is not a sign of weakness. And I feel like so many people feel like it is. If you've got to ask for help, it means you're not doing something right, or you're struggling, or you can't cope as a parent. That is not the case at all, especially if you have multiple kids that are young kids and are not at an age where they're self-sufficient. You need help. You cannot keep going where you're doing everything for the kids and they're not able to contribute because they're so young. Now, I'm lucky enough, I've got my daughter, she's at an age now where she is wanting to socialize a lot with her friends. And as I'm recording this today, she's actually out at her friends. Now, even though that's not me out asking for help, but I'm making the most of this time. And that's something that you can do. If you have kids that are old enough to go to their friends' houses on weekends or of an afternoon, use that as help. Use that to your advantage. Now, I want to talk about who you can ask for help. And, most common here, your friends and family. Now, I've even known that a lot of people out there are scared to even ask close friends and family for help. They feel like they're just going to use it against them. Now, this goes back to what I was saying at the start of the show. If you're feeling like that with someone's making you feel guilty for asking them for help, then don't ask them. Find other people. You don't want that. You don't want to be made to feel like shit. I mean, mind you, if they're the only people you have and you don't have any other option, then maybe have a talk to them. Explain your situation. Explain where you're at and that you deserve a break. Not that you should have to explain that to friends or family. They should be understanding. But if that's where you're at and that's the only help you have, then tell them. Talk to them. Have a chat and say, this isn't fair. I need a break. Why are you making me feel guilty? You should be supporting what I'm doing, not pushing me down and kicking me in the guts because I need help. So find your good friend group. Another place is single parent groups or just singles pages. And I know some people go on those with the intentions of finding a partner, but it's not necessarily about finding a partner. You can find friends. Some of them have catch-ups in your local area, and it's a good place to meet other mums and other dads that are going through a similar situation as you and might not have much of a support network. And I've met a lot of people through these groups doing stuff like this. And it's so great having this support network of other single parent friends that actually get what you're going through and they won't make you feel guilty because they're in the same place. And when you're needing help, don't be scared to take up things like before school care or after school care or, creches at the gym. Make the most of these kinds of places that have facilities where they can look after kids. Some people don't like doing it. Some people don't like using before and after school care. They feel like they've got to be there all the time for the kids, but you've got to be there for yourself too. So if you go to places that's got a facility there, an option for looking after kids, use it. Make the most of it. That is help right there. And another option, which can be a bit of a struggle for single parents because financially is usually one of the biggest issues, but that's paid help. Anything that you can outsource to give you free time is a godsend. It really is. And it could be anything from a house cleaner, someone to come and do your lawns. You might pay to get your car washed instead of doing it yourself. Any services that you can get done around the house by someone else, which saves you time, use it. That's help there. Now, again, like I just said, it does cost money, so you are out of pocket. But maybe you can just weigh up. Can you use that time more effectively for yourself? Can you use that time for self-care? You can use that time to catch up on a bit of work. You've got extra time later where you can then spend with the kids because you're not the one that's having to wash the car, or you're not the one that's having to mow the lawns, or you're not the one that's having to clean the house. You've got someone coming in to do it. So it is an expense which a lot of single parents don't have. But if you can justify that expense for the amount of time that it gives you free in the week, the amount of time it gives you just to clear your head and just do something for you, is that worth it? And maybe weigh up the expense versus the time, and time for you, because that's what you want. And that's why we're talking about asking for help, because you need time for you. Now, because asking for help does come with that stigma, it does come with the shame of feeling like you're not good enough, then if that's how you feel when you're asking for help, you're not able to get rid of that straight away. It's going to take a bit of time to actually work through that. Then when asking for help, ask for an exchange. So instead of being dependent on one person, ask if they can watch your kids at a certain time, then you offer it back to them. So it's a two-way street here. You're both getting something from it. Maybe you can offer to take the kids in the morning and this other person can pick them up in the afternoon. Do a bit of an exchange in help. So you're getting some time to yourself and you're getting the help you need, and they're also getting it too. So it's a win-win. But I think what a lot of people forget is, when it comes to this topic, is the majority of people out there are actually happy to help. They really are. They just don't know it. And you get a lot of people that are too scared to mention anything because they don't want to interfere. They don't want to seem like they're interfering in your life. Or if they ask or approach you, they don't want you to feel like you're not doing something right. Or they might think, oh, well, if I say something, or if I offer it, they might think that I think they're struggling or they're not doing a good job. But that's not the case. They might just see that you're a single parent who needs help and they want to offer, but they just don't know how to approach it. They don't know how to do it without making you feel like you're doing something wrong when you're not. So they just leave it be. But most people are actually happy to help. And most people want to help. So when you have someone in your life that says to you, reach out if you need anything, let me know if you need a hand, because I'm always someone like that. I'm always saying to people, if you need anything else, let me know. If I can help, please let me know. And if you ever have anyone in your life that does that, take it up, use it. They're not saying that because they like the sound of their own voice. They're saying that because they legitimately mean that. They want to help. And they don't want to just say, oh, let me do this for you. Let me do this. They're not going to come in and take over your life. You've got to actually ask for it. They can't just come and put it in your lap. So even though it may feel awkward asking for it, you need to break that mentality and realize there is nothing wrong with that. They want to help. I've just got to ask for it. And just remember, when it comes to having rest or having a little break or just stopping, it's not something you earn. You don't just run yourself to the ground and you've got to the point where you're completely worn out or you're sick as a dog and you're like, okay, I've got to stop. This is my rest. You don't just rest because you're sick or because you're worn out. You rest because you need it. Your body needs it. You need to refuel yourself. As I just said earlier, you can't keep going on empty. So rest is not something you just earn. It's something you need on a regular basis. So don't neglect that. And keep in mind how your mental state affects the kids. And I remember when I first broke up with my daughter's father, as I said earlier, nearly 11 years ago now. And when I left with nothing, I wasn't in the best headspace. But I've done the work. I've done the studies. I've done everything I can to get me through it to the other side. So now I'm at a place where I can help you guys. But when I was there, when I was in that place, I was alone. I had no family in my area where I am, and I had no money. I had nothing. I was just so alone. I was broken. I was empty. And I was just doing it all on my own. And it took me some time to realize that my daughter was picking up my attitude. Well, not so much my attitude. She was picking up my energy. So if I was angry and I was moody and I was sad and I was depressed, she was picking that up. She was crying a lot. She was being sad. But when I started looking after me and I started being happy and I started wanting to get out and enjoy life, it affected her. Kids soak up our energy. And if you want your kids to be happy, you need to show them that you're happy. You need to be an example of that. You can't expect your kids to be happy and enjoying their life when you're not. Just like when our kids are at school, they have their recess break, they have their lunch break. Some people have fruit break. They have all these breaks throughout the day because they need to refuel themselves. And it's same as parenting. You need to stop and have a break to refuel yourself. Because I don't care what anyone says. If you don't stop, if you're constantly on the go from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed, just constantly doing for other people, you're going to crash and burn. Something will happen where the universe will say to you, well, you've got to stop or we're going to make you stop. Like when you get sick, take that as a sign that that's your cue to just stop everything and rest. But as I just said also, you don't rest just because you're sick. You have rest throughout the week, throughout the day. You give yourself rest whenever you can by asking for help. And this is a big thing when it comes to today's society, and especially with social media. And you see all these reels and these TikToks with people that organize, and people have these beautiful homes and, you know, these beautiful cars and these beautiful holidays. And it just gives the idea that you have to have a perfect life. You don't. This is just a small snippet of their life that you're seeing on social media. Don't try and live up to somebody else's standard that you don't know the rest of. You're seeing a small, maybe 2% of their life. You don't know what else is happening. Stop trying to compare yourself or live up to what other people are doing. You do not have to be perfect. And there is no such thing as being perfect. So stop trying to have the perfect life. Stop trying to have the perfectly clean home. Stop trying to pretend like it's all going like clockwork when inside you're just ready to explode. You don't have to have it all together. But using that process of asking for help is a great way to get you started. And it's a great way to make small steps to get you to having a bit of a better life, or having a bit more sanity and a bit more peace. Now, before I wrap up, I do just want to talk about the importance of using your kids for help. Create a household schedule, get some routine going, get the kids to help, because that's going to be your best start. If you're at a place where you're still not sure if you're comfortable to ask other people, or you don't have anyone else, use your kids. Get them to put the garbage out. Get them to make their bed. Get them to make sure their dirty washing goes to the laundry. Get them to wash the dishes or stack the dishwasher, empty the dishwasher, take the clothes off the line. Use them as much as you can. And for some reason, a lot of people do feel guilty doing that. I know not everyone does. There's a lot of people out there that are quite happy to get the kids on board, to get them to do as much as possible. But there are still a lot of people out there that don't. They are a little bit, they feel guilty about getting their kids to do things because they feel like it's not a kid appropriate activity or a kid appropriate chore. Yes, it is. And if you're not sure, just have a quick Google for age appropriate household chores for your kid's age, because it'll tell you all these different things from young toddlers to tweens to teens. I mean, hey, when they're teens, they should be able to help with everything around the house. But if you're not sure what's suitable, do a quick Google search on your age, the age of your kids, and what is appropriate for them to do around the house, or ask on another group page. Just last weekend, I was sick as a dog. I don't know what happened. I just came down with something and I was just on the lounge for 2 days. And my daughter was so good. She kept bringing me snacks. She'd bring me ice water and she kept refilling it throughout the day. She took off the washing off the line. Actually, she even hung it out for me because I put it in the washing machine and I was just too sick to get up, and she did it. Because that's the thing when you're sick as a single parent. That's the prime time you need to ask for help. Use that help. Use your kids. And it's not just when you're sick. It's throughout the week when you're struggling and you're not able to get everything done. Use your kids. But this episode really was just about breaking down the fear of wanting to ask for help, breaking down the shame or the pride that comes with it, thinking that, oh no, I can't do that because they'll think there's something wrong with me, or no, I can do it all, I'm okay. No, you can't do it all, because most people are doing this with another partner. And then you've got those other families that have a partner and they may have their parents around. So you got the grandparents involved. And there might be some cases with single parents that also have that. But I know I don't. So use whatever help you can get. And please, if you are at a place where you're really finding it hard just to kind of take time out for yourself, you just kind of in that cycle and you're just not stopping, and there's no light at the end of the tunnel because you know there's so much more that still needs to be done. Jump off it and get someone else to help. Use any services that you can outsource. Use any kind of facilities that have care for kids, even if it's babysitting. Use some sort of form that can come in and help you. But most importantly, you'd like it to be friends and family where you don't have to pay for it. Or if you've got a good enough relationship with your ex, ask them if they can have the kids for an extra day. But really, the moral of the story here, of this podcast episode, is just for you to realize that asking for help is not a bad thing. It's nothing you should be ashamed of, and it's something that you need to really understand that it doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean you're a bad parent. It doesn't mean you've done something wrong. It just means you need help. Because in life, we always need help. So this is your reminder to please seek out help in some way, shape, or form. And that's your challenge for this week. If you're listening to this episode because you feel like you need help, which more than likely is why you're listening, then that is your challenge. I want you to find one way where you can go out this week where you can get yourself some help. Whether it be ask a friend, ask a family member, ask a parent, ask a neighbor, ask a school mum or dad, ask someone at the sports club where your kids train. Ask them if they can take the kids or you can pick them up, or swap turns, exchange. Use a crèche at the gym. Use a babysitting service. Find something that can help make your life that little bit easier. Book your lawns to get done. I mean, I've done that for the whole time I've been a single parent because I've just never owned a lawnmower. But I tell you what, I've thought about it multiple times about buying myself a lawnmower. But then I thought to myself, I don't want to waste that time on my own, going around doing the lawns, doing the edges. No, I would much rather pay someone once every 3 to 4 weeks, or however often he comes. And that's one less thing I need to worry about. And I'm so glad I do that because I don't want to spend that time and energy out there doing that when I do enough as it is. So find one thing to outsource or one thing for you that can help give you some help. Okay, so I hope you got something from this episode. And I do challenge you all to take up something that is going to help you. Find a way to do something in your life that's going to bring you some help with your friends, your family, with outsourcing something, with getting help, with anything from what I've just discussed. Get yourself some help. And I want to know about it. Share it with me on my Instagram page. Tell me what you've done for yourself to get you some help. And also, I want to know how you felt. Did you feel good or did you feel shit? Because you want to feel good. You want to feel like, yes, I'm so glad I did that. And you will. I promise you, you will. It may be daunting asking at the start if you haven't done it before. But once it's done, you'll realize that they'll probably more than happy to do it for you. So that's what I want you to remember when you are asking someone for help. Good chance they will want to help you. And if they don't want to help you, then ask someone else next time. They're not the people that you can rely on. So that's about it from me, guys. Thank you again for jumping on week after week and listening. And I just wanted to bring this up because I know asking for help is a big thing as single parents. There is so much work that needs to be done as a single parent. And it's not just the physical workload. It's not just the cleaning. It's not just the chores. It's not just the stuff with the kids. It's the mental and emotional workload that people forget. You've got to do all the planning of the appointments, of the school activities, of the sports activities, of the shopping, of anything that needs getting done around the house, booking in services for the car, booking in any tradespeople. It's all on you. That mental and emotional load is a lot. You're constantly ticking. Your brain is constantly ticking of what needs to be done. And this is why you need help. It's a lot. And when you're in this space, when you are a single parent, you don't have someone that you can go home to at the end of the day where you can just maybe vent about your day, talk about something that's happened, or talk about something that you need to get done, but maybe you're not sure and you just want to vent with someone, you just want to get someone else's feedback. You don't have that. So that also adds to the mental and emotional workload and the exhaustion that you're constantly going through. So don't be so hard on yourself because it's not just the physical stuff. And people think, oh, that's okay, I can do that. Cleaning, I did that before anyway. Or, looking after the kids, that's no different to what I did before. But it's not just that. There's a whole other aspect. Just little things like taking the bins out that you don't have anyone to help you with. When you got to take your car for a service, you don't have anyone to pick you up. Maybe that's one way you can ask for help. Get someone to pick you up when you're waiting for your car to get done. You can't call someone at home to get the washing off the line when it starts to rain because there is no one else at home. It's just you and the kids. So please don't be hard on yourself and don't underestimate how much you do because it's a lot. It is a lot. So please be kind to yourself. And I want you all to start taking some steps to getting some help and getting some support in some way because you're not a failure. You're a human being that needs a bit of support. And if you are wanting a bit more support, then I am here for that. If you are struggling, if you don't know how to get through this, if you don't have the confidence enough yet to speak up to someone, then let me help you with that. Let's talk through a few steps. Let's have maybe 1 or 2 sessions. Maybe we can have more. Let's do what we can to get you at a place where you have more confidence in yourself, where you can actually open up and talk to people, say, hey, listen, I need help. And you're not a failure for asking that or for saying that. So my details are all in the show notes below if you want to book any coaching sessions, if you want to have a one-on-one chat, if you want to find my Instagram page, if you just want anything, you want to have a chat, my ebooks, everything, it's all in the show notes below. And most importantly, if you are loving the show, give me a review, share your comments, share your feedbacks. I'd love to know what you're thinking about it. And if you have any questions, shoot them through to my Instagram page, Life After Plus One. And I'd love to hear from you where you're at on your journey. And if there's anything in particular that you want to hear on the show, I'm open to hearing from you all. So that's about it from me, guys. And I hope you got something from this. And like I said, please get out and start asking for help because there is nothing wrong with you and you're not broken and you're not a bad person. So thanks again. Until next week, I'll be in your ears then. Thank you for joining us on the Life After Plus One podcast. If you loved what you heard today and looking for some further support, then jump onto our website, lifeafterplusone.com. Plus, don't forget to check out our Instagram page for further resources and inspo. You can find all the links in the show notes. And remember, you're not alone on this path. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next episode. And in the meantime, keep thriving, keep growing, and keep exploring your amazing life after plus one.